The movie starts at the fancy Black Rock Science and Technology Lab, where they introduce their cool new invention, a super advanced robot suit. This robot suit is super strong, can jump really high, and has armor that can survive big explosions. Amy, the smart boss engineer, is in charge of the show. The important person who wanted to buy the robot suit is there too. He's really impressed with what he sees, but he's worried if the person wearing this powerful suit will know how to use it safely. Just when he starts to feel unsure, Amy steps up and talks with a calm and reassuring voice. She tells him that their fancy computer system will pick the best people in the world to use the robot suit. His worries go away, and he says congrats to Dr. Cohen, the lead scientist. Later, Dr. Cohen and Amy have a private talk. Dr. Cohen is a bit worried about the robot suit technology. He thinks it could be good and bad, like a double-edged sword. But Amy smiles and makes him feel better about it. She gives him confidence in what they've made. At the same time, a group of security folks is getting ready, armed with lots of weapons. They're doing all this to protect their boss, Steven. He's come up with a new kind of energy that could change things a lot and make the old oil business worried. Some big and mean enemies want to stop him. They've sent a tough group to try and hurt him before he shows off his cool invention at the World Science Summit. The security team dresses Steven in a super tough suit that can stop bullets. Long Wei, who used to be a Special Forces soldier and is also a good friend of Steven, shows up. He tells Steven to be careful and stay close because their journey is going to be very dangerous. They all head to an elevator, and a nervous waiter they pass by looks really scared and hurries away. Before they leave, Steven gives Long Wei a heartfelt gift for his daughter's upcoming birthday, which brings a nice moment of warmth amid all the tension. But as they start moving, one of the guards has trouble with his earpiece, and suddenly, everything goes crazy. There's a loud gunshot, and one of the guards gets killed right away. Then, a grenade explodes super loudly, hurting and confusing everyone. In the middle of all this madness, a group of mean hitmen shows up, shooting and causing a lot of destruction. The guards who are still alive have to quickly find cover. As they try to move forward carefully, one of the guards uses a bright flashbang to blind the attackers, giving the others a chance to get Steven away to safety. They try to use the stairs, but they get shot at from both sides, and some of them get hurt. One young guard is really hurt and tells Long Wei he'll catch up with them later, maybe in a better place. Long Wei decides to protect Steven, and they start fighting against a bunch of attackers who just keep coming and coming. They make it to the hotel floor, and it's total chaos there. But their plan to get away is stopped by two sneaky guys pretending to be waiters. Long Wei has to fight them up close and personal, and he takes them down really quickly. One of the attackers tries to grab Steven, but Long Wei moves fast and knocks him down. He tells Steven to run and then has to fight a bunch of chefs. Long Wei grabs a fork and uses it as a weapon against the chefs, who were trained in cooking, not fighting. He beats them, and they try to keep running, but suddenly, they get shot at a lot. Two attackers get close, but Long Wei takes their weapons and beats them before they run away. With no other choice, Long Wei goes to another floor, closes the door behind them, and breaks a high window. Even though Steven doesn't like the idea, Long Wei pushes him onto a bridge that connects two really tall buildings and jumps after him. Since Steven can't move well, Long Wei has to drag him along this scary path. The attackers keep coming, shooting at them. Long Wei fights back and gets rid of a few attackers, but then a bullet hits Steven, and Long Wei has to grab him to stop him from falling. But just when things seem bad, a helicopter shows up with a sniper and a machine gun person. They start shooting at the attackers, and the last bad guy, who thought he could dodge bullets, doesn't make it. With a lot of effort, Long Wei gets Steven back onto the bridge, and they win the fight and keep their lives safe. A few weeks passed, and Long Wei was back home, slowly getting better with his wife and their daughter, Feng Feng. The little girl was innocent and drew pictures on her dad's cast. They all laughed and had a good time together. Long Wei's wife was excited about him retiring soon. She wanted to go on adventures in the mountains as a family. But Long Wei, even though he was home, still felt sad about losing his friends. He asked for some time to think. While they were talking, someone knocked on the door and interrupted their nice moment. Long Wei's wife went to open it, and it was someone who seemed like one of the people who had attacked Long Wei, but they were in disguise. Then, something really scary happened. Long Wei's wife came back into the room with a bomb tied to her neck. Long Wei tried to tell her everything would be okay, but the bomb was ticking, and there wasn't much time. She went into the bathroom and locked herself in, and Long Wei had to try to save her. Feng Feng cried for her mom, and Long Wei tried his best to reach her, but before he could, there was a huge explosion, and his wife died. A year later, Long Wei was living a simple life as a repairman in a small apartment with his daughter Feng Feng, who was now not feeling well. She had a painful reminder of the bad day and needed a walking stick to help her walk. They sat down for dinner, and Long Wei was thinking about moving her to a new school to protect her from bullies. But Feng Feng seemed distant, not paying attention to her dad and going to her room. Then, something really sad happened. Long Wei got a phone call, and the doctor told him some very bad news. They found a dangerous problem in Feng Feng's brain, and she needed surgery right away to stay alive. In a different part of town, Amy and her friends were having a fun night at a bar, enjoying their drinks and each other's company. What they didn't know was that Long Wei was also at the same bar, fixing electrical problems. He was really good at it, and he quickly fixed the issue, making the bar bright again. Amy, feeling a bit tipsy, decided to go to the restroom, not knowing that a guy was following her. Long Wei talked to the bar's owner, who was like a family friend called Uncle Leo. They sat down, and Long Wei told Uncle Leo about Feng Feng's serious health problem. Uncle Leo really wanted to help, so he gave Long Wei more money than they had agreed on. Their friendship and support for each other were really strong. Meanwhile, Amy started to feel sick and wanted to leave the bar, but something scary happened. A stranger grabbed her, and she screamed in panic. Just a moment away, Long Wei heard her screams and rushed to help. He quickly took down the person who grabbed Amy, even though the person had a dangerous knife. Long Wei's fighting skills were really good, and with a strong kick, he stopped the threat. He checked on Amy, who had been hit on the head with a bottle, but she was still brave and strong. Long Wei made sure the person who attacked her couldn't hurt anyone else, and that person's friends helped him. Long Wei didn't want any trouble, but sometimes trouble found him anyway. Some guys with bottles tried to attack him, but Long Wei quickly stopped them. The first guy tried to fight back with a bottle, but Long Wei used his fists to defend himself. But before all this, Long Wei had a really bad headache. It hurt a lot, and he went outside to take some medicine. It was tough to swallow, but eventually the medicine started working, and he felt better, walking away from the pain. The next day when he went to work, he saw something strange. His shop's door was open a little bit, and he got worried. He grabbed a baseball bat and went into Feng Feng's room, but he was surprised to find Amy there, reading a story to Feng Feng, who was sleeping peacefully. After that, Long Wei and Amy had a really nice talk. Long Wei thanked Amy for bringing happiness to Feng Feng with the gifts she gave. Amy wondered why Long Wei, who was so skilled, worked as a repairman. Long Wei felt like he didn't have any other choice. Amy wanted to help and offered Long Wei a job in security at her company, even though he wasn't sure at first. But Amy insisted and gave him her business card, showing him a chance for a different future. While they were talking, there was suddenly a lot of noise, and they rushed to find Feng Feng on the floor, unconscious. They were really worried and put her on the bed. Amy tried to help her breathe again, and Long Wei got some adrenaline shots. With the shot, Feng Feng woke up slowly, and Long Wei was really thankful to Amy for saving her. Long Wei was working on another job when he asked a friend for help finding a better paying job. His friend was worried because Long Wei still had some injuries. Long Wei was also worried about the hospital bills, but he got a call from the hospital that surprised him. Someone anonymous had paid all the bills. He felt really thankful and rushed back home, where he found his daughter Feng Feng sleeping peacefully. He remembered his wife, who had given him a bracelet to show their family love. Long Wei wanted to start fresh, so he cut his hair and dressed nicely. Before he left, he kissed Feng Feng on her forehead, showing his love and hope for the future. He went to the Black Rock place and met Amy again. He thanked her for paying for Feng Feng's surgery, and then she got to the point. She wanted him to pilot a special suit of armor. Long Wei was honest and told her about his PTSD and the medicine he took. But Amy already knew about his problems and wanted him because they both had a tough experience at the bar. Long Wei and 3 others were hooked up to a fancy VR machine for a test. Inside the virtual world, he was in a busy shipping yard, and a bunch of tough guys with knives, bats, and other weapons attacked him. Long Wei fought really bravely, taking on the attackers without giving up. He even stopped a guy with a gun and had to rescue someone. When he went into a room, he had to face a big group of bad guys. Even though he got hurt, Long Wei kept fighting and saved a young lady who looked a lot like his late wife. This made him freak out, and he got out of the VR simulation and fell on the floor. The doctors were worried and tried to help, but Long Wei was really mad and wanted to leave. While all this was happening, they called Amy to help, but just then, Long Wei heard something that made him act really fast. There was a big explosion in the facility, and a group of tough soldiers came in and started shooting. Long Wei saw his chance to get away, and the leader of the soldiers put a bomb in the lab, destroying everything. After the chaos settled down, it was clear that Long Wei was hurt. He tried to help himself by doing basic first aid. Even though it hurt a lot, he managed to stop the bleeding and felt better. At the same time, the team of mercenaries took control of the main lab and held the scientists and staff hostage, including Amy and Dr. Cohen. The leader of the mercenaries recognized Dr. Cohen and said they wanted to get the power core, but Dr. Cohen said no because he made it for peace. But then the leader of the mercenaries started shooting and killed 2 scientists. Amy barely escaped getting shot, and her life was in danger. Dr. Cohen was pressured a lot, and he finally agreed to give them the power core. Meanwhile, Long Wei was attacked by a guard, but he fought back quickly. The leader got worried when he heard gunshots on the radio, so he asked the guard what was going on. But the guard, who Long Wei had taken control of, lied and said everything was fine, hiding the real problem. Dr. Cohen saw a chance and took control of the system to start a self-destruct. The leader got really mad and shot Dr. Cohen, killing him. They couldn't stop the self-destruct, and they were getting desperate. They even thought about killing the other scientists one by one. That's when Long Wei did something smart and set off the fire alarm with a good shot. The leader realized how serious the situation was, so he sent some guys to find Long Wei and get rid of him, hoping to save Amy and the others. Amy said she could stop the self-destruct, giving them more time. Long Wei saw a chance and knocked out a guard, taking his uniform to disguise himself. He almost got caught by some guys, but he used a fire extinguisher to blind them, and then took them out one by one. The last guy thought Long Wei was on his side, but got a big surprise and got taken out too. In the control room, the leader of the mercenaries found out that their soldiers were defeated and Long Wei was wearing their uniform. He talked to Long Wei through an earpiece and said he couldn't escape. Long Wei kept going deeper into the place, but accidentally ran into more bad guys. He tried to sneak away, but one guy saw him. They told him to take off his mask, but Long Wei didn't talk much and started fighting. He beat the first 2 guys really well, but the leader of the group was tough. They fought hard and even got into an elevator. Long Wei didn't give up and fought with all his strength. The leader tried to use a knife, but Long Wei was too fast and dodged every attack. With his quick moves and strength, Long Wei turned the fight around, tossing the leader around and giving him some powerful hits. In the end, Long Wei won the tough fight. Things got really tense, and the boss tried to talk to his captain, but there was no answer, which made him really worried. In a scary move, he put a gun to Amy's head and told her to hurry up because the self-destruct was getting closer to the end. Amy, under pressure, managed to stop the countdown just in time and saved her own life. The special power core they wanted finally showed up, and the boss took it. Amy hoped she was safe, but the boss had some bad plans in mind. But before things got worse, Long Wei got on the radios and said he wanted to make a dangerous deal. At first, the boss thought he had the advantage, but Long Wei had a secret. He had captured the captain. When the boss found out, he had to agree to a trade, the scientist for the captain's life. Long Wei had a clever plan. He hid a bomb on himself and brought the captain to the boss, but it was a trick to get the boss out in the open. Shockingly, the boss didn't care and shot the captain. Long Wei quickly took away the boss's gun and pointed his own gun at him. While everything was crazy, Amy and the other scientists used the chance to run away. The boss got away, and the other mercenaries started attacking. Long Wei used his hidden bomb to cause chaos and destroy the lab. After that, he got up from the blast and heard Amy calling for help. He followed her screams, and they ended up going down a garbage chute. Unfortunately, he lost his medicine during all this. In a really intense moment, Long Wei came across the boss, who had a gun to Amy's head. He threatened to hurt her, so Long Wei had to drop his own weapon. The boss acted like he was giving up, but then he revealed that his gun was empty, and he heartlessly shot both Amy and Long Wei. He didn't have any bullets left, so he picked up a pole to hit Long Wei. But Amy bravely stepped in to protect Long Wei and took the beating herself. Long Wei, terrified and struggling with his PTSD, faced the boss with a strong determination to survive. They had a fierce fight with powerful punches and kicks, throwing each other around. In the big showdown, the boss grabbed a brick and managed to stun Long Wei for a moment, but Long Wei quickly got back up and fought back hard. The boss didn't give up in trying to choke Long Wei, but Long Wei's strong spirit wouldn't let him be defeated, and he broke free from the grip. Long Wei was really tired, and the boss kicked him hard, making him crash into a pole that went through him. But Long Wei had a plan for one last revenge. He quietly pulled the pin from a grenade on the boss's vest. In a moment of anger for his family and for Amy, Long Wei held onto the boss, and they both exploded in a big climax. But then, Long Wei woke up in the lab, surrounded by scientists, including Amy. It turned out that this was all a carefully planned simulation to test Long Wei, and he passed. After the simulation, Long Wei thought about his daughter Feng Feng, who had a successful surgery. For the first time since her mom died, Feng Feng spoke and said how much she missed her dad. They hugged each other with tears of happiness. At the end of the story, we saw Long Wei standing strong and ready to wear his new armor, ready for whatever challenges came next. So the moral of the story is always remember to double check if your job interview involves explosions and epic battles before signing up for it, and never underestimate the power of a well-hidden grenade.